Last night, the Royal Navy and RAF women did battle on the pitch at the Victory Stadium here in Portsmouth, and a win for the Royal Air Force by 3-0. Tonight, we're here at Fratton Park, home of Portsmouth FC. Time for the Royal Navy and Royal Air Force men to get it on this evening. And who is going to come out on top? Well, last year, of course, it was the Royal Air Force. Will they do it again tonight? So let's get the view from the dugout, shall we? Starting with the RAF and their team manager, Andy Kuchar. Well, Andy, here we are. Start of another inter-services season, and of course, you know, you've got your eyes very firmly fixed on yet another title.
Absolutely, you know, massive game for us tonight. Fantastic venue. Obviously, just speaking to the Navy staff as well, they've had a fantastic training camp, as we have. We've had a great season. The boys are sharp, you know, and we've got something to come here and defend. You know, obviously we're with the current champions, and you know, we're coming hopefully to do the business tonight.
And sort of just looking down the team as well, you've got probably the best players you can find. I mean, I really, it's difficult with operations and commitments, but you've got the players that you want. Yeah,
you know, our captain, unfortunately, Tom Clacy's not available for us, but you know, we've replaced him with a really good player, and yeah, you know, the RAF have supported us, and we've managed to get our full strength squad out. So, you know, we're good, we're strong, and we're healthy. That's the main thing.
And you don't need me to remind you that the last time the in-services was played here at Fratton Park, the Navy ended up with the championship. So you've got something to prove.
Yeah, it's their home turf, isn't it? And you know, the Navy, we got one up on them last year, so we expect them to be strong. They'll have the bit between their teeth and want to prove us wrong and try and take this trophy off us. But we're going to do our damnedest to make sure that doesn't happen tonight.
Good luck.
Thank you. Appreciate
it.
Andy.
First of all, what a fantastic location to be able to play this match.
It's a fantastic venue, and the last time we were here we actually won the inter-services. Last time we played here, it's historic, and it's great for service football, so hopefully we'll get a good attendance. I've heard there's going to be 1,000+ here tonight, so hopefully we can give them a bit of a spectacle in a fantastic arena.
Opening game of the competition, it's always you know, vitally important to get something out of it, isn't it? And you know, a win tonight would really boost the boys.
A win would be massive. Anything but a defeat tonight would be fantastic, but a win would be really special. And we've got a good group here. We've just come back from Portugal, had a really good training camp out there, had a really good result on Saturday out there again against Portuguese opposition. So we're ready, and yeah, fingers crossed we get a good result tonight. We'll take us into the Army next week.
But you know how tough it's going to be against this Air Force team. They're the champions. They don't want to give that title up.
They're a great side, and Cookie's got them well organised. I imagine they'll set up very similar to what they did last year. And it was a good game up at Shrewsbury last year. We lost the game 2-0, but it was a much closer game than the scoreline reflected. Hopefully we've got enough tonight to go and get that early goal and take it to them.
And of course, you know, your time is coming to an end, isn't it, as with the Navy? So particularly for you and all the management team here.
Yeah, so we're all leaving. We're all leaving the services. So it's a real shame, but hopefully we can leave a bit of a legacy. There's some good young players in that dressing room, and whoever does come in after me is picking up a good squad of players. So yeah, good luck to whoever comes in. But we've left a real good group here to take forward in the future.
Good luck tonight, Mark.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Cheers.
Well, here at Fratton Park, we're preparing, of course, for the kick-off very, very shortly of this inter-services match, having just heard there, as you did, from the two managers and head coaches ahead of the game. And joined now by Scott Jackson, who is a Royal Navy referee, of course. And Scott, I know you'll be keeping a very close eye on things and how the Army officials getting on this evening, but welcome along. Great to have you with us here tonight. And what a fabulous venue this is to bring back into services football again.
Yeah, John, thank you very much. It's always a pleasure to be here with you on BFBS Sport, and you know, what better place to do it? You know, Fratton Park, place will be he's filling up behind us now and to the sides of us. So hopefully, you know, come 7 or 8 minutes time, the place will be rocking and inter-service football kicks off for the season.
Indeed. Now, I think they've sold well over 1,000 tickets in advance, and they're obviously hoping people are going to come in and really create a great atmosphere here, because that's what this game needs, isn't it? All these matches need an atmosphere. They need people here to support the players on, because there's, you know, this is a pinnacle for any Forces player to play in a stadium like this.
Absolutely agree, and you know, the more people we can get in, we can encourage it, and I'm sure there'll be a recruitment drive behind it, behind the scenes. So it's all positive.
It really is. Okay, maybe it's time that we took a look at the two teams in action this evening, Scott. And I think the first thing to say, of course, for the Royal Navy tonight is that they're missing probably one of their star men over the last few years, Danny Kerr. Now, very sadly, Danny suffered a family bereavement, which means that he's not here tonight. So, Danny, on behalf of all of us here at BFBS, best wishes to your family at this very difficult time. But the fact that Danny's not playing, that might indeed have affected the RAF's plans tonight, because I'm sure they would have been expecting, you know, Danny Kerr to be, you know, heavily involved tonight.
Yes, John, I think Danny will be a sad miss. You know, he's been a stalwart within the Navy team and the UCAF captain currently as we speak. You know, but sitting on the dark blue side of the fence, the RAF have sadly lost Tom as well, you know, the captain who's been the mainstay for them. So is it even it up and makes a good contest in the middle of the park?
Just looking down this Royal Navy team, they've got, you know, plenty of experience, and there's a few players obviously who've come in hoping to make their mark tonight at senior level after the Navy had success at inter-services under 23 level this year.
Yeah, it's always good to see, you know, the development coming through from the junior teams right through to the senior 11.
And as you can see, the players coming out now onto the field then at the start of the game, the Navy players first. So we'll quickly run through the RAF lineup as well. As you mentioned, obviously they're missing a very important member of their team in Tom Clace. Good evening to you, Tom, if you're watching tonight. But they've got some really experienced players. They've got a lot of class on their side, the RAF.
Yeah, John, you know, it's always a tight one, you know, on the RAF, with the history of how many times they've won the inter-services. They'll fancy the chances tonight. So, yeah.
I mean, just looking down their side, Phil Bright, you know, who's actually one of our co-commentators when he's able to, but he's obviously in there tonight, and I just need to look no further really than the likes of Jake Gosling. You put him in front of a goal and he'll score. Jake's
got experience at Bristol Rovers, Exeter, Torquay, so you know he's well established, and he's a cracking lad as well.
And a few other star players to look out for as well in their side, like Mike Campbell, for example, as well. But very shortly we're going to have the teams presented to our VIPs this evening. And maybe I'll do a quick mention tonight as well for the two young mascots who are here representing the Royal Navy and the RAF for the Cassar Cup this evening. That's the trophy that is on show tonight. It's the Cassar Cup, which is sitting proudly right in the middle of the pitch, as you can see. Time now for the national anthem.
I don't know where they are.
So no national anthem at the moment. We're just waiting for the VIPs to come out onto the field. So maybe we can just focus on our two young mascots tonight for looking after things for the Royal Navy. We've got a young man called Rory Derbyshire. He supports Liverpool. And of course, Liverpool have got a bit of a match on this evening, haven't they, Scott? He's a Liverpool fan, but his dad, Martin, is the Royal Navy Masters team manager. So he's there looking after the Royal Navy team tonight as their mascot. And as far as the Royal Air Force are concerned, we've got Alfie John Purchase as well. Now, he claims, he says he supports Portsmouth, so he's in the right place tonight for Alfie John as well. So good evening to both our young mascots who are representing their services tonight, and we've got all our VIPs who are up in the gantry. I think we're just waiting for them to go down and be presented to the players. They're waiting just at the moment, but a bit of a hiatus here. So there's a bit of a long way to go. Actually, rather a convoluted way to get down onto the pitch side. But they'll be down in a second, I'm sure. And Scott, this is not much use for the players because they want to get out there and get stuck in, don't they? Really?
Yeah. You know, the minute they walk out the tunnel, you know, they want to be presented national anthem and then get along with it. We don't want them seizing up or anything a night like this, and you know, there'll be nerves out there tonight, no doubt.
Martin Connell, the Vice Admiral, who of course is president of Royal Navy Football, and his also his counterpart from the Royal Air Force, are coming out to meet the two teams. And the Navy with their captain tonight, who's Pete Bradley. He's looking after things for the Navy in terms of captaincy this evening, wearing number 5. Standing in, of course, for Danny Kerr tonight as the team captain. He's introducing the players. I'm sure that Vice Admiral Connell very familiar with the Navy players, and as well with a lot of the RAF players, because he's always very interested and involved with UCAF football as well. Maybe a mention for our officials tonight as well. I'm sure you'll be keeping half an eye on those as well, Scott, tonight. But it's Army officials this evening. Captain Ash Allen is the man in the middle tonight. He's just being introduced as well at the moment to the VIPs. And his assistants this evening are Corporal of Horse Ben Duffield and Staff Sergeant Chris Stedman, with the 4th official Lance Corporal Michael Robinson-Tant. And our officials last night for the women's game did an extremely good job. And obviously tonight, in these conditions out here, with the rain falling, we've got a light rain at the moment down here on the south coast, which won't really, the players won't be too happy about that, particularly having to stand around for a long time. But yeah, it's been like that all day, really, I think, Scott, weather-wise. And they're actually watering the pitch when we got here, so there we go.
Yeah, that's not uncommon, and I was definitely a victim of that on the way down. Pretty much surfed the way down, John, but hey-ho, it's I think I posed you the question before we went live and said, have we ever done an inter-service game where there was no rain? And I don't think you could answer me.
No, well, I think the answer is probably no. I mean, we've been up in Shrewsbury a few times over the years, and it's always rained there, so I don't expect anything different this, you know, in a couple of weeks' time when we're up there for the final matches of the season when the RAF take on the Army. Just a sort of a mention on the record, I suppose, while we're waiting for the last bit. I think we've got the national anthem coming up right now. So, all the pleasantries are over. The players now just shaking hands with each other as they make their final little preparations ahead of the game. And then we can get started with this opening match in the Men's Inter-Services Championship. I have to say, really enjoyable match last night for the women. So the RAF were victorious by 3-0, Scott. First half was, I think, very much a contritional battle of defences, but we certainly saw 3 very good goals in the second. The penalty to start things off for the RAF, and then 2 really well taken goals to finish it. And we'll show the highlights of that women's game for you at half-time here at Fratton Park tonight. But both the RAF men and women, of course, are Inter-Services defending champions, and I think they'll be certainly looking to extend that run, won't they?
Yeah, absolutely, and I think it's always safe to say, you know, the opening games, the nerves are on display. It's tentative, it's nip and tuck. They're trying to keep the defences solid, as we saw from the RAF, you know, and the Navy last night. So let's see how this one plays out, John.
Indeed. As we get ready for the game. Remember, wherever you are around the world, we always love to hear from you tonight, and I've got a few mentions already. Tim Cooper, one of my colleagues here at BFBS, is watching. He lives just down the road from here. Why are you not here tonight, Tim, enjoying the rain? Mark Waldman is in Jordan tonight. Good evening to you, Mark. And Jamie Doig is watching and saying we're spoiling him again for this evening. And Danny Kerr's been in touch as well. Danny, we send you very best wishes, of course, from all of us at a difficult time for you and the family. But we hope that you will enjoy tonight's game. And I know you'll be shouting your head off for the Royal Navy this evening. And it's something I meant to mention to Andy Kuchar, actually, during the interview with him, that the last time the Navy won this Inter-Services title, they won the game here at Fratton Park. And that's going all the way back, I think, to, 2015 was the last time. So 8 years ago. It's been a long time. Let's see whether the Navy can start off the way they mean to go on tonight. But a very, very tough opposition here in the RAF.
Yeah. I think Mark was reminiscing on that, John, as well, before we went on there as well. He was keen to mention that and get that across.
He was indeed. And of course, all the RAF senior management, it's sort of an important, well, certainly for the Royal Navy, it's a really important sort of end of the season for them, because they're all just about to leave. Mark, Geordie Horseman and Dave Berry as well. They're all in their final few months in the Royal Navy. So lots of incentive for the Navy boys to do the business for the senior service tonight. But it's a good start for the Navy, just backing things up as the RAF bring the ball forward now with Aaron Errett, someone we haven't seen before. Cross comes in onto the left-hand side, and really very close for then. It was a nice bit of play from Joe Spalding and Michael Campbell. If he sniffs anything on goal, there's always that opportunity. But it didn't come his way this time. Throw in on that far side then. Early moments of this match. Inter-Services football. And great to be back here at Fratton Park again. And a good atmosphere. Loads of people in the stadium tonight. I say we sold a lot of tickets were sold for this. And a good number of people have turned out tonight to support Inter-Services football, which is absolutely brilliant. Nodded on forward, and an early touch then for the RAF keeper, Christian Pullet-Brigg. As they bring it forward.
Started an extremely fast pace, John, in the middle there.
There's Campbell. And a man that we expect to see plenty of on the ball, number 10, Jake Gosling tonight, Gibraltar international, of course. Scored some vital goals for UCAF over the last few years in their Kentish Cup successes. Well, a bit of a misunderstanding. Immediately, it's Kieran Feeney picks it up. Good tackling again, though. Referee says throw in to the Navy. Taken by Nick Glendon, wearing the number 2 shirt, the white shirts, dark blue shorts for the Navy, all light blue for the RAF, as you'd expect. Just a couple of minutes played here in this Inter-Services game, still 0-0. Air Force bring it away, they win the free kick. Tenacious play there from Jack Debenham. Both teams sending each other out at the moment, aren't they, Scott? You know, it's early days. But so the RAF have already had a dangerous moment pushing that ball forward. Bill Bright wearing number 3. Gosling goes in, and indeed he wins a free kick. There was a challenge there, I think, when it came in on Michael Campbell, which the referee didn't like. So he's brought that back. Maybe a bit of work for the
got a lively start here, and their first chance for the RAF to swing one in, John.
Yeah, I think we expect to see a few meaty challenges coming in throughout the course of the evening. It wouldn't be competitive Inter-Services football if we didn't have that.
No way. Doesn't look too clever there.
Yeah, still receiving a bit of treatment. Light rain still falling here in Portsmouth as we await the restart of this match. Back on his feet though, and it's good to see Mike Campbell is back up on his feet again. He will just have to lead the field and hopefully he can come back on, although, yeah, it's a handshake there. So Brodie Gray then with the free kick. And also over there is Jake Gosling as well. In fact, look like Gosling might be going to take this, aiming for some of the big men in the box. Oh, it was not a brilliant free kick in the end. Bright gets the ball forward, and that'll be out of play, and a first touch of the ball for Lawrence McCormick in the Royal Navy goal from the Royal Marines. So tentative start from both sides, I think it's fair to say, but that's probably only to be expected. So much at stake in these inter-services championships now. There's more than just bragging rights, there is a trophy at stake tonight, of course. Nice bit of play from Aaron Eilert again. Ball goes out wide. Here's Bright, will get the cross in, try to get the cross in, but a really crunching challenge from Pete Bradley, the Navy skipper. I don't think Phil Bright quite expected that, but he has won the throw-in. And Nick Glendon eventually gives the ball back to him. Here's Bright, touches it across, good holding play from Campbell. And another throw into the Air Force in a bit of a hurry to get this taken. Debenham.
Oh yeah, switching the play, lovely there.
Yeah, nice play, nice go across onto the onto that right-hand side. And an opportunity, I think just offside was Debenham. Just timed his run almost to perfection. I say almost. So just over 6 minutes played here. It's 0-0 in this inter-services opener for the men. Don't forget, we'll be in Aldershot next week, Tuesday and Wednesday night, for the second leg of this competition, Army-Navy matches. But I'm sure the Army are watching with great interest this evening to see how these two teams shape up. They've got a lot of catching up to do after last season. No one likes to lose a championship, but the RAF have been pretty dominant over the last couple of years. Far side of the field, then throw. What can the Air Force do here? Nice bit of play from
another strong challenge on the far touchline from us, Tom.
Yeah, and the man who's down at the moment is Sean Powell, the AET. It was a pretty hefty challenge. Quick word from the referee, but no more than that. Having a couple of words with Pete Bradley, the captain.
I think both teams trying to put the print on one another, John, quite nervy.
Yes.
Struggling to get on the ball.
As a referee, you kind of let, assume you have to sort of let these things go a little bit in the early moments of the game.
I wouldn't possibly comment, John.
I'm going to try and get a few referee-type comments out of you this evening, but we'll do our best. Okay, cross coming in from Sanchez across the face of goal. The Navy then with a chance to put things in. It's a shot, goes just wide from Elliot Holmes. And that's the first shot on target, or just off target for the Royal Navy. Holmes then, you'll be happy with that. Although
we seem to liven the crowd up a little bit. Quite a few in tonight.
He did rather snatch at it. Yeah, the main stand here at Fratton Park is looking pretty healthy with spectators tonight. Not too many people elsewhere. There are a couple of people on the far side of the field, but not too many from where we're watching. And that is going to go straight out of play. Goal kick from Christian Pollock-Brigg, who's really made that #1 position his own over the last couple of seasons. Glendon then with the throw. RAF pick it up, Gosling trying to knock it on to his captain, to Joe Spalding. And eventually the ball
comes out with a nervy clearance there.
Yeah, I think he felt he just needed to get rid of it as quickly as he possibly could. Nice play from Gosling, beats one man, gets a cross in, across the face of goal. No one on the end of it though. But
the Navy breaking quick out on the left there, looking to capitalise.
Yeah, but strong RAF defence, and that'll be a free kick. And I think there might be a yellow card coming in the direction of the Navy's #9, Sanchez, James Barker, or Baker rather.
But if you want anything out of me, John, you can't have any arguments with that. That's the first nugget I'll give you tonight.
There is no argument, no. That was a late challenge, and I think Ash Allen, Captain Allen, seen enough there, and having a severe word with the Navy's big centre forward. So a yellow card goes by the Jans Baker's name. You don't blame me for having
it's a long way to go on a yellow card, John.
It is, but at least because he's a striker as opposed to a central defender, maybe it might not have the impact it might have had if it had been one of the defenders who got the early yellow.
Yeah.
But it's 11 minutes played here at Fratton Park. It remains 0-0.
Some may say it was a striker's challenge.
Yes. Absolutely. Nicely played ball forward from Eilert again, but the ball just a little bit too far for Mike Campbell to catch. A few more messages coming in. Come on the Navy, says Sue Thomas, watching our son from the Maldives. Good evening to you, Sue.
Is that the furthest one we've got across the globe tonight? Well, we want everyone to post where they're watching. I've had a few messages from those out in Baghdad.
We do.
Big shout to Andy Davidson.
Yeah, anyone who is wherever you are tonight, we're bringing us together for our Forces Sports coverage. And we had a couple of messages from the Falklands last night as well, which is great, down there at Mount Pleasant. So if you're down there and you're watching, let us know and we'll give you a mention. Looking for a football at the moment, but I think they've found one now with Nick Glendon. Who's going to take the throw for the Navy. Deep in their own half. Brights picks it up.
Acres of space over the left-hand side now for the Navy to break.
Here's Jack Wright. Plays it forward, aiming for Snedden. Good turn from Snedden. That's a lovely ball out onto the left-hand side as the Navy try to bring it forward with Rhys Thomas. But just rather scuffed at it and opportunity lost. But I think the Navy looking their most fruitful at the moment down that left-hand side, Scott. Ollie Holmes says Elliot Holmes to score first. And he's even quoted some odds. I don't know whether there's actually any betting going on this evening. I wouldn't have thought so. But anyway, here come the Air Force on the right-hand side with Jake Gosling challenging for it. And he's here, there and everywhere. Right side, left side at the moment, as you would expect. And the ball goes out of play, and it's a goal kick. Nothing to put on the score sheet yet in terms of even corners. But plenty of time to go. Coming up to a quarter of an hour played here. Good header. There's Thomas again. Ball goes, wins the throw. Gosling with the header. Hoofed forward by Sam Rawlings, but safely back in the arms of Royal Navy goalkeeper McCormick. Nicely touched down by the big number 9, and it's a really nice play on that left-hand side. And coming forward now is Feeney. Working well with his left back, gets the cross in. But no one there to pick it up. Now, can the RAF break? They certainly are going to have a go.
Looks like he's got the legs on Glendon there.
Campbell into the penalty box. Ball goes across the field, and no one there to collect it. But that was a real opportunity. Jack Debenham there, but the RAF looking really dangerous on the break. So the Navy will certainly have to watch that one. How quickly they broke there, and looks like Mike Campbell has certainly run off whatever that niggling injury he picked up, or rather, yes, whatever he picked up early on. Navy pushing forward now with Elliot Holmes, and he wins the first corner of the game. So the corner then coming in on this side,
looking
taken short. Yeah, taken short by the Navy by Holmes. Maybe they will win the throw-in.
Unfortunate slip there by Sean Powell, however he did well to win the throw-in and keep the attack building.
So another chance for a long throw this time. Glendon into the box. Bit of a challenge going in. Referee says that's fair enough. And Navy will have a chance to build once more. This time with Wright. Aiming for his forwards. Air Force have it though with Aaron Eilert. And he picks it up once more. He's had an important role to play so far in this game for the Air Force. Here's Jake Gosling. This time he's in the middle of the field.
It looks like Jake will drop in deep there and try and be a bit of a playmaker before he pushes on up front.
He certainly has the running. Nice touchdown.
Plenty of space.
Here's Feeney. Good challenge from the RAF there. Referee says that was a foul on Sam Rawlings, and he wins the free kick. No score if you're just joining us live here on Forces News Facebook and our YouTube channel tonight. Lots of messages coming through. Wayne Dawson says, come on, all the Navy, all the way from Cockermouth up there in Cumbria. And Hannah Bradley supporting the Navy from Plymouth, from Pete Bradley's wife and family. So thanks for all the messages. We'll keep reading them out as best we can throughout the course of the match. Here's Thomas. Finds Bright, Phil Bright. Good period of possession for the Air Force. Or what can they do with it? Trying to build from the back. Rawlings. He'll play it wide onto the right-hand side to Corrigan. Back to Rawlings. Once again. And this time it's Brodie Gray. Referee says that was an unfair
overzealous
challenge
there from Sean Powell coming across from the left.
Yeah. The referee wants to have a word with him as well for that challenge, because it was a pretty hefty one. And Captain Ash Allen is just calling over Sean Powell. The Navy don't want to pick up too many yellow cards here, but there'll be a severe talking to, because that really was quite a meaty challenge, rather more than just a meaty challenge, Scott. Bright then takes the free kick. Across to Eilert. Back to Joe Thomas. Sporting a beard. Difficult to get used to seeing RAF blokes wearing beards. It's not been so long that it came in, is it? But they can wear beards now, and as everyone else. I think the Navy used to be, you had to have a full set, didn't you?
Yeah.
If you had a...
Not me personally, John. I still can't grow one at the age of 35.
Absolutely.
It's quite interesting there to watch the RAF try and build that play. The Navy just stayed strong. You know, they put 11 men behind the ball and just had to see how they countered.
They had a lot of success at under-23 level, the Navy, with this. Their opener against the Air Force in the under-23 match was a 0-0 draw, and they were so strong at the back with the Navy. And they're, as you say, they're doing it again here tonight. But all it needs, of course, is for one goal, and that suddenly changes things. Eilert with a good ball through. Aim for for Joe Spalding. Spalding well challenged though by Wright, and the ball goes out of play for a throw. Good evening to Neil Jones, who's in India this evening watching us. It's very late over there. It must be over there in Varanasi. Good evening to you, Neil. He says, come on the RAF. He's shouting for Neil Jones tonight. Here's Phil Bright. That's a long ball, hopeful one, which I think Campbell did it really well to keep it in play. The referee says it was out of play, so he's not happy with that decision, but I think it did just go out of play. It was a hopeful one, but he's got plenty of pace, hasn't he, Mike Campbell? Plenty of pace.
It looks like the numbers are mixed up there, John, with Mike Campbell and Joe Spalding. Mike Campbell's wearing 9 and Joe Spalding's got 8 on.
Okay.
I'm sure Mike will forgive us. He doesn't look as young as Joe.
I'm glad you're here. I really am, you know.
Well, Navy got an opportunity to break now down the left. Overlap.
It's with their left back, Thomas, Rhys Thomas. To Feeney. Thomas again. Opportunity then into the box. The number 7, it's a good shot, and it's a great save. Excellent work from Elliot Holmes, I think it was, who was on the end of that, and brilliant goalkeeping from Pollock Brigg. Called into action. That's really our first attempt on target tonight, but it was a really good one from the Navy's big number 9, actually it was, wasn't it?
Plenty of space again down the left for the build-up. Looked like Jans Baker's picked up a knock.
He's still there. Glendon. Well challenged by the RAS goalkeeper, the central defender, Rawlings. It'll be ushered back to goal by Elliot Holmes.
Turn in space, big challenge.
Yeah, but RAF have it. Once again with Joe Thomas. Here's Bright. Nice ball across.
Corner RAF, first one of the game for them.
It is indeed for Joe Spalding. So the Air Force then, their first corner of this game. What can they make of it? Before that can be taken, I think there's just a little bit of work needed on Sanchez, Jans Baker, who...
Looks like the Navy may be forced into an early substitution here, John.
Yeah, and of course he picked up a yellow card, didn't he? But was having that attempt on target, I think, might have picked up a knock. Just a few instructions coming from Mark Ferry. Just handing them out to Alan Snedden, just below us.
Looks like that could be the evening over.
Yes, and that's a shame. It's always difficult to see a player having to leave the field so early on in the game, and we wish Sanchez all the very best. Hope that he'll be fit again. He's just shaking his head at the moment. Obviously, it looks like he's picked up a thigh injury there. So the replacement we will hear about very shortly. He's hoping to get back on, I think, but the corner comes in, and Gosling with the attempt from the corner goes wide.
Looks like he's going to be replaced by Emmanuel Roche, John.
Manny Roche. Now, Manny, who really impressed in the under-23 competition earlier on in the season, and so he's got his opportunity. Hasn't got his brother working with him alongside him tonight, but Manny Roche is going to come on, and he's got an opportunity to make a name for himself for the senior service, and he'll be on very shortly. At the moment, play just continuing with the RAF with Joe Thomas.
The Navy just need to keep it tight now whilst they're a man down, John.
Phil Bright.
There we go.
Nice ball forward to Feeney, Kieran Feeney. Beats off a challenge from Bright. Bright wins it back, though. Back to Thomas, but the Navy have it. Good work again from Feeney. Flicks it back to Elliot Holmes. Holmes. Patient work from the Navy. Not overdoing it. As you say, they've got just a man down at the moment, and now the opportunity will happen to make that change. So, welcome to the world of senior Royal Navy football to Manny Roche coming on in this first half. I don't think he would have been expected to come on quite so soon.
Absolutely not. I think when he got the nod to take his jacket off, he looked a little bit nervous, but hopefully he can settle them nerves down, get on the ball, and replicate what he did in the under-23s.
Yeah, he loves it. He loves, having lots of play on the ball. Does Manny, from what we saw, he was a real playmaker for them actually in the under-23 championship.
I think the only issue that may cause for the Navy is the lack of height up front, losing Sanchez.
Yeah, they're going to have to play a different sort of game, aren't they? Rather than aiming for the head of a big number 9.
Yeah. But it's a steady start, no teams are going to give anything, one big opportunity each.
Air Force have it then. Nice little nod on from Gosling, but comes to nothing. Navy will bring it forward. I think the rain has just abated just for a moment here at Fratton Park, which the players and those fans who are stuck out in it will be very pleased about. We played now almost half an hour, and it's still 0-0. And there's Roche going in there on the RAF goalkeeper on Paulett Brigg. Just making his
kindly letting the goalkeeper know that he's come on, John.
I'm here, I'm back, yeah. I'm on the field, it's me. Here's Gosling. Actually, Gosling cost me a pint of Guinness out in Ireland with the UCAF team. I'll tell you that story very shortly. It's a poor call from the commentator, and Gosling actually got both the goals for UCAF in that win over the Irish Defence Force. And I miscalled the winning goal scorer. It cost me actually quite a few pints of Guinness that night in the bar afterwards. But they forgave me.
That's not like Jake, John, is it? The thing is with Jake, you know, he's played at such a decent level and he's such a good guy. It means so much to him, you know, even every time he scores and when he pulls on the UCAF shirt, he's proud to do it. I spent some time out with him in Holland for the Kentish Cup, and he's just brilliant to be around, yeah. You know, and he's great for the lads to play off.
He is. He's got that awareness, hasn't he, that, and obviously with the Gibraltar connection as well, and with the expansion of the World Cup groups, well, who knows? Could Gibraltar be appearing in the World Cup finals? I doubt it, but you know what? They'll give it the best, won't they? They'll give it a go.
Never say never.
Absolutely. People messages, shout out to Ryan Vincent, who's travelled down to watch his big bro for the Navy. Well done, both sons. And that comes from Darren Vincent tonight. Good evening to you, Darren. Sounds like a few people have made quite a few journeys this evening to be at this game. A lot of proud parents and uncles and aunts and grandparents, no doubt, and brothers and sisters watching their spouses playing and whatever. Opportunity then for the Air Force. Nice work from Gosling, but it goes out for the goal kick. Yeah, Joel Spalding and Michael Campbell working really well at the moment.
Looks like the Navy have dropped to a 4-5-1 from up here, John.
Yeah. Well, Roche has just come onto the right-hand side, obviously.
It looks like he's left Snedden up on his own.
Yeah, although that might change, of course. There's the number 11, Sean Powell, as well, has just sort of drifted across once again to the centre of the field. Hefty challenge, which was meaty, and I think it's going to be a bit of a word. And in fact, David Vincent has run back to his position. Nasty challenge on Jack Debenham there. And just he's still down, not happy, and I think
so Aaron Eilert's in a bit of discomfort out there, John.
Yeah, he is. Is that Allett or Vincent? Who's Vincent? So Jack Debenham wearing number 7, isn't he? So. Had quite a few stoppages so far in this first half. Game really yet to take off, hasn't it? It just needs something just to give it that bit of extra spark. Just over half an hour played here, and we could just do with an extra spark of something, just to give the fans, you know, something to really cheer about. But
I think a little bit bitty in what we spoke about, a bit, you know, first game nerves, getting down to it, trying to get on the ball, suss each other out, and then, you know, get that clear-cut chance.
Free kick goes in then, and it's headed into the net. Oh! And I can't believe that Michael Campbell has missed that. Look at him.
He can himself, John.
He's scored himself, hasn't he? He's just put himself into the back of the net.
Right on cue, not one big chance, another big chance, and then there he is.
We have just seen it. It was a really excellent free kick floated in, and I think nodded back, wasn't it, by Gosling, and Campbell with a real open goal in front of him. Oh my, maybe it was just too simple for him. A real chance then for the Air Force to have snatched a lead just after half an hour here. But it remains. That could
be a concern, you know, for the Navy as they move on. You know, there's nobody in there winning the headers, you know, with the lack of height up front coming forward to challenge from the goal kicks.
Joe Thomas back to his goalkeeper, receives it back again with interest. As the Air Force attempting to play out. But in a bit of a tangle there, eventually Pollock-Brigg gets it back. Yeah, could do with a few more of those exciting moments, just to liven things up here. Game rather following a similar pattern to what we saw last night in the women's game, without any goals in the first half so far. There's opportunity then for the Air Force down on that right-hand side. Oh, and it's a great effort, actually. Brilliant effort from, it looked like Mike Campbell.
Mike Campbell, yeah.
Yeah.
He saw McCormack off his line and he seemed to go for it.
He did, yeah.
I think we were all expecting a cross for him to pull it across the face of goal, and he's had a shot and almost redeemed himself for his earlier missed chance.
It does. Reminds me a bit of that chance that Everton put away a few weeks ago. The goalkeeper off his line, and I think it was Coleman, Seamus Coleman, saw the goalkeeper away. Looked like a cross, ended up in the back of the net, and that very nearly ended up in the back of the net too. And here's Gosling with the short corner. Receives it back. Bright, unfortunately, loses his footing. But the Air Force still looking for an opening. The Navy on the break at the moment. That's lovely play onto that left-hand side from Rhys Thomas.
Great bit of skill by Thomas there.
He did do well. And he'll receive 1-2. Taking it wide. Oh, and that was a very strong challenge, and I've got a feeling that it's going to be a yellow card.
I'd be surprised if he doesn't go in the book here, John.
Yeah, I think Joe Thomas is going to see a yellow card from referee Allen. Very reckless.
I think it's good when the Navy are getting it into Snedden's feet, but it's just a lack of height, where they may come a little bit unstuck or struggled, as the game goes on.
Has he actually brandished the card? He's still making notes.
Thomas goes into the book.
Yeah, I think he was shown a yellow.
Yeah.
Yes, he is. Yeah, that's the yellow card shown. Quite right too. So, around 10 minutes left in this first half then. Can the Navy break the deadlock here? They have a free kick. Dangerous position.
Right-footed in swinger. Ball's in.
Straight in and headed clear by the Air Force. That'll be a corner though. The Navy winning their second corner of the game.
I think it was the keeper that punched it clear there, John.
Yeah,
he's saved himself. It's a great corner.
It was, and he's gone down actually as Christian Pollock-Brigg. So there'll be a slight delay while he gets up anyway. So hopefully he's all right.
Setting up for the outswinger this time, it seems like.
And to take it is
going
Elliot
short
Holmes. Again. Referee wants it taken once more. Not ready. And I think he'll probably go long this time, won't he?
Yeah, I think they're onto the
I think they're onto the shorts. Yeah.
He's looking again.
It does go long. Aim for the big centre half, but Air Force get it clear. Well cleared by Eilert. The Navy still just trying to build some momentum here, going forward.
Good, looking to switch play now.
And they are doing.
He's got Roche over on the right-hand side there. Utilises Roche.
And Roche will take it to the byline. Tries to get the cross in, but wins another corner. So good late pressure on from the senior service then in these last few moments, of the last 5 minutes or so of the first half. At Fratton Park, 0-0 between the Royal Navy and the Royal Air Force.
Good, the tease in with the short again.
Goes long.
It in.
Oh, and so close there. And I tell you, it was Pete Bradley just holding his head in his hands there, because if he'd made a connection, I think that would have been a goal. The Navy have kept their central defenders up the field for as long as they can. And they do win the throw-in on the far side, which Rhys Thomas will take.
A couple of good balls into the box there from the set piece from the corners.
Yeah. So both sides have had their chances, Scott, haven't they, in this first half?
Yeah.
You can't say there haven't been a few opportunities. And
I think it's been pretty well matched.
it has, yeah. And goes out for another throw-in, this time on that far side of the field. The play moving very quickly from one side of the field to the other. Now, Bright goes for the thunderbolt. And that was a really good bit of defensive work from Roche there. I'll tell you what, he really connected with that. That could have easily flown into the net.
Yeah, fantastic connection, John, like you say.
And Phil Bright never afraid to have a go for goal. In fact, we've got a member of his family keeping an eye out for him this evening, I think. And just sort of checking down our list. Yeah, Angela Parhill, looking good, Brighty, watching and supporting you and the RAF lads from Auntie Ange and Josh.
Always seems like Phil Bright has a fan club, John.
He
whenever
does.
We're on BFBS.
Yeah, he does, whether he's commentating for us or whether he's actually playing. Yeah, he joined us last season when we were down at Yeovil for the Army-Navy game, and he always seems to be posted to quite near to where we're broadcasting from. So he was with us for the under-23 match just a few years ago, and he's literally just down the road at the moment.
He must have a good career manager, John.
He does, yeah. Yeah, gets these quick postings, which takes him all over the place near where all the games are happening. Glendon then looking for a white shirt to throw the ball to. It's headed back, though, by the Air Force. Nice control, nice work from the Air Force there with Brodie Gray. They still have it.
Debenham trying the little reverse ball there to set Campbell free.
Yeah. Bright will get in there.
Phil Bright again.
Nice work from him. Spalding, though, beaten to it, and good work from Glendon. Just keeping the Air Force at bay. Bright then with the throw. Nice little touch across.
Oh.
Campbell gets in there, does well. And then out wide onto the right with Corrigan.
I think Powell thought he had a little bit more time than he did there to clear the ball.
Nice cross coming in. Just a little bit too far away from the marauding attackers from Brodie Gray there. Remains 0-0. And literally into the last few minutes of this first half. We'll have I'd imagine 2 or 3 minutes of stoppage time, Scott, for the breaks that we've had, the bits of treatment that players have had. At the moment, who do you think will be the happier of the two managers?
I think Mark will be quite happy, you know, with the RAF as the defending champions. And, you know, the Navy have had a little setback. They had Sanchez booked early doors and then they had to sub him off. You know, so that probably wasn't in their plan. But, you know, Geordie and Dave out there seem to be doing unlike them two, to be vocal. And they're not doing a job in there, so yeah, they'll be pretty happy. But let's not hope I've cursed it here as Gosling breaks forward. Yeah,
things can change in the blink of an eye. We were talking like that the other night, and suddenly there was a goal, came out of nothing. Here's Bright. Good interception, though, for the Navy, and just looking for some support. Elliot Holmes just shaking his arms. He gets in there again, makes the challenge. Gosling, lovely little click forward, and that will be moved out of the way by Pete Bradley just before Spalding could get anywhere near it. RAF finishing strongly in this first half. Bright's going to get the cross in. He does. It's low and it's cleared away again by the Navy captain. Nothing's much is getting past Pete Bradley at the moment.
think the Navy will be looking to shore it up until half-time, John.
Yeah.
A couple of minutes, 5 minutes or so probably, you know, with all the stoppages that we've had.
Bright takes, can't deal with that. Now the referee gives the foul against Joe Thomas, has already been booked, of course. He did rather just fall over his man there. He's got to be careful, as Joe is a defender who's had the yellow card, so a few Navy players just having a word with the referee, including the skipper, Pete Bradley. And I'm sure Ash Allen, Captain Allen, will just say, hold on, I'm the referee here. I will make the decisions about what happens.
I think they're trying to do the age-old thing, John, when you've got a player on a yellow card. Footballers tend to think that every tackle after that becomes a second yellow or a red card. So,
Yeah.
But, you know, it's not like that. And it's an innocuous foul. It's never going to be anything other than just a foul.
No, exactly. Yeah, it's a shame, actually, that players are doing that at any level. Oh, the cross comes over. Oh, spill by Pollitt-Brigg. And the referee has said penalty. Pollitt-Brigg, and then there was a challenge there, and it was a challenge, I think, on Kieran Feeney, who's gone down. Or was it? No, it was not the number 11, I think, Sean Powell. Pollitt-Brigg spilt the ball. Let's just sort of see if we can. The ball comes across, Pollitt-Brigg spills it. Yeah, and there's definitely a challenge there on Sean Powell. And no doubt, says the referee, that is a penalty to the Navy. So, drama in these last moments of this first half. And it's Elliot Holmes who will have the opportunity to put the Navy in front. We've got 4 minutes of stoppage time to play here. Big moments in this inter-services. And it's saved! Oh, has it gone in? No, it's gone in. And he's so cross with himself, with Pollitt-Brigg, because he thought he'd saved it, but then the ball just seemed to roll out of his hand and into the net. Extraordinary penalty. I thought it was a well-taken penalty deep into the left-hand corner. He did well, and Pollitt-Brigg made the save, but then it slipped out of his hands into the net. So, drama here at the end of the first half. The Royal Navy leading by 1-0. The penalty from Elliot Holmes. He's absolutely thrilled about it. And so are the majority of the supporters here in the stadium at Fratton Park.
Yeah.
Wow.
I've been really impressed with Holmes, John, to be honest. You know, in the first half, he's got on the ball, he's looked calm, he's looked assured. You know, he stepped up there. And whilst we all thought he missed it here, hearts in the mouth, he seemed to slip under the keeper. I thought it was unlucky, to be honest.
He was.
You know, he got down well, but he just couldn't keep hold of it.
I mean, the ball is probably like a bar of soap with the rain that we've had as well. It's, you know, rugby players have to face this on almost a daily basis when they're playing, when they're handling the ball. But, yeah, and you could see that Christian Pollitt-Brigg was furious with himself, but he mustn't be too hard on himself because he made the save. Anyway, this has really opened this match up now. The Navy have the lead just before half-time here. We're into stoppage time. And it's very, very exciting indeed. It'll be interesting to see what sort of tactics the Navy employ, assuming they can, you know, get us through to half-time with the 1-0 lead. The Air Force, though, coming hard at it straight away. Gosling with a flick across. The Navy will clear it.
There he is, Holmes again,
Yeah.
just clearing the lines, giving Steading the chance to chase onto it, put the pressure on Thomas.
And Pollitt-Brigg. And I'm sure that Christian Pollitt-Brigg will probably be quite annoyed with himself because he made that save and then spilt the ball, and obviously that gave the opportunity for Sean Powell, who went in for it and was pulled to the ground. And the referee had no hesitation but to give a penalty. Offside flag goes up against the Navy.
Good, I think this is where they've just got to keep it tight now. Nothing sloppy.
Well, the game needed a goal, and that's really sparked the interest, obviously, amongst the home supporters here, who, as we say, are by and large cheering the Royal Navy, as you would expect. It's their home game, and it's being played on this Lovely pitch here at Fratton Park for the first time since 2015.
And all those that backed Elliot Holmes to score the first goal should be collecting the winnings as we speak, John.
I know, yeah. Ollie Holmes, he said 4-1, so that's not bad. Glenn Long says good luck, Royal Navy senior men. And the Air Force, though, anxious to get back into this as quickly as they possibly can. Can they get a goal before half-time? Are the Navy going to hold out?
Bit of a sense of urgency now from the RAF,
Gosling.
John, as Gosling whips it in.
Oh, and the ball goes right across the face of the goal. Head in hands from the players. And that is the last action of the first half. And it is the Royal Navy who have the lead here. Much to the delight of the senior service. That penalty right on half-time from Elliot Holmes has given the senior service, the Royal Navy, the lead.
Looks like the RAF are the quickest down the tunnel there, John, to get in, probably regroup and then go again, come out. I think it'll be a great start to the second half. You know, whether they get the riot act read to them, but I'm sure they'll come out strong and wanting to push on.
They haven't played badly, though, have they, really? I mean, the Air Force haven't played badly at all.
Absolutely not, no.
You did say, actually, just before the goal went in, that you thought that that Mark would probably be the happiest of the two head coaches. And obviously that goal will have cemented that situation.
Yeah, agree with that, John. Yeah, as we said, it's, you know, it was always going to be tight, nervy, you know, and an unfortunate mistake. You know, I don't think it was too intentional, you know, or anything to do that, but the ref, he left Ash with a decision to make. Ash has made it, and, you know, we go in at 1-0.
We do indeed. Lots more to come, of course, the second half to follow here, live on our Forces News YouTube channel and Facebook page. But right now, let's take a look back at events, shall we, from 24 hours ago, when the Royal Navy women met the RAF just down the road at HMS Temeraire and at the Victory Stadium. And it was 0-0 at half-time between those two teams, but certainly plenty of action in the second half. Let's pick the action now up, shall we, at the second half with the highlights of last night's inter-services game between the Royal Navy women and the Royal Air Force women. Perrin with the free kick. Oh, and a real opportunity for the Navy there, but the goalkeeper stood her ground, Emily Gascoigne. There's a bit of height in there. And it's a good one, it's a good one. And you can see who it's aimed at. Shorter. And she got her head on it.
Yeah, great corner kick there.
Jade Widows, though, still keeping the pressure on. And that will be just a goal kick. It came off her. Perrin then with the throw. And that is the last action of this first half. Well, it's been so tight. Nice play from their number 3. And the referee has said that's a penalty. Well, it was a challenge on the edge of the penalty area. Long wait. Beaver with the penalty. And she scores! And the RAF take the lead in this inter-services game.
Yeah, good penalty.
Yeah, she took it really well, very confidently. Nice control by Cat Beaver. That's lovely play from her. And what a ball that is through. And the shot, and it's a second goal for the Air Force. And that is a brilliant goal. And it's magnificently scored.
What a finish. The keeper couldn't do anything about that, John. That was absolute quality, and that ball from Cat Beaver.
It's Lucy Farrow who has got the goal, but it was a magnificent through ball from Cat Beaver. Good quick ball forward for the Navy now. What can they do on the edge of the box? A shot coming in from Ellie Bishop, and that's really the Navy's first shot on target in the game.
Oh, great play by Farrow.
Does well. That's a lovely turn, and it's a lovely shot, and a great save. Brilliant shot from Griffiths there.
That they're happy just to sit there and see the game out like this.
Oh, this suits them down to the ground, absolutely. And the chance for a third goal, and they've got it! And on the end of it was Abigail Hayes. That is the third goal. It was a bit of a slip up in the Navy defence there, and it's Hayes who gets in with the header. Is the final whistle here, and it's a night for celebration for the young women in the dark shirts, because the Royal Air Force have won this opening fixture in the Inter-Services Women's Championship by 3-0 here against the Navy.
Hello and welcome to Courses Sport.
You've been doing all right with the tries, haven't you, last couple of seasons?
Not bad.
Yeah.
Amy Cocaine, as always, a real pleasure.
Big play coming, Matavesi! Suddenly this game switches once again. The cut back from the outside centre, and he's over.
First Club gets on her bike, sets off, leaves the covering tackle for dead and dots it down.
Seeing it now. Well, welcome back to Fratton Park here in Portsmouth, because it's half time here, and if you've missed that the first half, you missed a really exciting end to that first half of the game, because it was the Royal Navy who took the lead right on half time thanks to a penalty, and it was really well taken in the end by Elliot Holmes after the goalkeeper saved it, and it then seemed to push into the back of the net, but the Navy leading 1-0 here at half time against the Inter-Services champion holders at the moment, who are the Royal Air Force, but we've got 45 minutes left to play. And if you enjoyed those highlights from the women's game, well, of course, next week we'll be bringing you all the action live from the second round of fixtures in the Inter-Services Championship in Aldershot. Also been going on today, we've had some military hockey. The Inter-Services Hockey Championships have been taking place just down the road from us here at HMS Tamaria. Still waiting actually for the final results of that, but really exciting hockey. I watched earlier on today with the first of all the matches involving the games on Tuesday. We had the Army women beating the Royal Navy women by 3-0, and then the Army men losing to the Royal Navy by 3-2. Those are the Tuesday fixtures. Then earlier on today, an emphatic victory for the RAF ladies, who beat the Royal Navy by 5-0. That, of course, set up an exciting match for them in the final match against the Army. And then later on, in fact, just sort of looking at the action, a really excellent goal there, scored by Becky Douglas for the Royal Air Force to really emphasise their victory, and they added 3 more goals in the second half of the game to win by 5-0. Then in the men's game as well, we saw some action there with the RAF men against the Army, and that a cracking first goal for the RAF. It was actually very close because right up until the last few minutes, eventually the RAF winning by 3-1, and of course that set themselves up for a battle against the Royal Navy in that final. We're just waiting for some news there. If we bring that to you, hopefully we can before the end of our live broadcast tonight, but of course we'll have all the action for you from that in our Forces Sports broadcasts later on in the week. So that's the hockey, which was happening, as I say, down at HMS Temeraire earlier on in the day. And there's been lots of matches. Of course, we had the excitement of the winter sports over there in Maribor. They actually finally got some action today as well, and hopefully you enjoyed all that action that we saw earlier on today from the telemarking from the Telemark Classic event live, and hopefully we'll have some more live winter sports for you tomorrow here on our Forces News. No more. Apparently, I'm told that we haven't got any more lives tomorrow. Weather has played havoc with the programme out there in Maribel, unfortunately. So hopefully you managed to catch some of that live action today. But there's loads more live action to enjoy here on our Forces News channels over the next couple of weeks. In fact, as I mentioned, we've got football going on next week with the second round of matches on Tuesday and Wednesday of next week in Aldershot, when we'll have the Army against the Royal Navy. We're looking forward to seeing the action there, and of course the Army women got the opportunity to get themselves off the mark in the inter-services for the first time against the Royal Navy. The Navy will be anxious to get back, of course, to winning ways after their defeat last night. Then on Wednesday, the following day, on the 22nd of March, we'll have the action as well at Aldershot Town FC when the Army men take on the Royal Navy. If it stays like this here at Fratton Park and the Navy end up winning tonight, well, of course, the Navy could win the championship if they were to win in Aldershot next week. But a lot of football to happen between now and then. And then, of course, on the 25th of March as well, we've got Rugby Union starting with the Inter-Services Championship as well. And we'll have the Navy women against the RAF women down in Plymouth, and that'll be followed later on in the day, the 11:45 kick-off of the women's match there. And then later on in the afternoon, 3 o'clock kick-off, we'll see the Royal Navy take on the RAF men as well, the opening salvos in this season's Inter-Services Rugby Championship. There we go. And we're looking forward very much indeed to seeing all that action as well. And if that's not enough, of course, we've then got loads more football as well. We'll have the deciding rounds of the Inter-Services Football Championship just a week after. Shrewsbury will be the venue for the men. They'll be in action. And then, obviously, the women on the same day, they're playing at Leek Town. So loads of sport to enjoy coming up in the next few weeks here on our Forces News YouTube channel and on Facebook as well. And perfect timing, because the players just coming out on the pitch for the second half, and Scott, interesting discussions I'm sure going on in both dressing rooms at half time. What do you think will be coming out of the RAF? Have they just really got to go for it now?
Yeah, I was fortunate enough just to walk past the technical staff then, and they didn't seem too happy, John, to be honest. So I think they'll be fired up. It'd be no surprise that the RAF came out first. I think Mark will be saying more of the same in the first half. I don't think he'll be pushing on more attacking. He might try and shore it up a little bit. I'm sure we'll see the first 10 minutes be a good indicator with what happened in the RAF dressing room, but It didn't look great.
Now let's take another look at that penalty, shall we, which separates the two teams at half-time, and it was clearly given, and it was the right decision to give the penalty, because the ball came across, and initially Christian Pollitt-Brigg made the save, but he fumbled the ball, and then the penalty was obviously hooked in, and as you can see from the replay, that it was. I feel sorry for Christian Pollitt-Brigg, because he did initially made the save, and then it just seemed the ball just seemed to slip through his fingers, and well, that's given the Navy the lead. There's going to be another change for the RAF coming on for them, number 14, and that is going to be Josh Story is coming on, and he's replacing
Mike Campbell.
Mike Campbell. Now, I wonder whether Campbell did pick up an injury towards the end of that first half, but Josh Story-Randall is coming on to replace Campbell, and clearly the RAF are really going to be going for it in this second half, and we're just about to get underway live here on Forces News YouTube and Facebook, and I'm just going to a few messages that we've got coming through as well from those of you who are watching on YouTube tonight. We've finally managed to make the connection. Tom Kavanagh, Army veteran, is watching from Swindon. Good evening to you, Tom. And also Summer Gray. Go on, Brody. Everyone watching from Scotland, Grayso. Good to know. And just keep those messages coming through, because we're just delighted to hear from you, wherever you are around the world, the Forces world or the world in general. But we are underway in this second half now in this inter-services match. The Navy leading by 1-0.
Got some nice little footwork by Rhys Thomas right in front of us, John, there.
Yeah, he did do well, didn't he? And the Navy with their tails up at the moment, as you would expect with that lead. Gemma Medlicott says good luck to the Navy team, especially Pete Bradley, from his sister, brother-in-law, niece and nephew. Lots of families watching tonight on our Forces News YouTube, and thanks to all of you who tuned in last night. We had nearly 10,000 views last night across our channels.
Well, John, you should give yourself a pat on the back for all the fantastic work that you do, you know, promoting Forces sport.
I'm hoping for a pay rise, basically, with all these extra viewers that we're getting. But we can wish, can't we? Anyway, the Navy on the chance on the edge of the penalty area. The RAF bringing it forward then with Jack Debnam. Good move from him, and here's Jake Gosling. Just holds the ball. Lovely cross-field ball aimed at Joe Spalding, but the ball runs out of play. And that's, again, an emphasis of how quickly the RAF can break.
It looks like as if switched Joe Spalding to the right. I think maybe filling in for Mike Campbell, who's come off.
Yeah. He just likes to be near the camera, I think, Scott. But just sort of looking around, it's just great to see such a good crowd here in Fratton Park tonight. I know you can't sit in where you're watching from home because you're looking out on some empty terraces, but I can tell you that the main stand here has got a goodly number of people watching, and they're looking now at the RAF with their substitute pushing forward with Josh Story-Randall. Edge of the box! Oh, and it goes just wide. But that shows the pace that he's got, this young man, and he will be hoping for a few more opportunities like that. Very, very close indeed.
Only on the field of play 2 minutes, John is creating chances like that. He could be a thorn in the Navy's side.
No ball boys to retrieve the balls on that far side of the field, so Lawrence McCormick, the Royal Navy goalkeeper, has to do it himself. I suppose it just uses up a few more seconds, doesn't it, Scott?
Maybe we might see some of the dark arts in game management that we see across the professional game, John, creeping as the clock ticks down if the Navy hold the lead.
Well, you know how I feel about that. We should have independent timekeepers in football like we do in rugby, and it would solve all that sort of nonsense. I really can't understand why that hasn't happened, but certainly in the World Cup, Scott, we haven't had a chance to talk about those sort of things tonight, but when they're playing 15 minutes of stoppage time at the end of a game, it makes you realise that maybe they're just tightening up on that sort of thing.
Well, the ball's hit the corner flag and stayed in play.
That's remarkable. But the Navy, it's still in play, kept in play by Sean Powell. Air Force will be so anxious to get back on parity as soon as they can.
Plenty of time for Feeney.
But the Navy, that's Roche there on that far side. He gets the opportunity again, picks it up, nice turn from him, takes the 1-2 on the edge of the box. Air Force tidy up.
Good, really calm and assured there from Rhys Thomas to play it back to McCormick.
He needed to be, because Joe Spalding was right on him. Sam Rawlings at the back, the captain for the Air Force this evening.
He's handed the armband over to Sam Rawlings there.
Yep.
Experienced.
Yep. In fact, both number 5s now are the respective team captains here on the field. Joe Thomas watching that ball carefully as he hooks it forward, and Phil Bright just aims to go for it, but it will go out and it'll be a throw into the Navy.
Yeah, I think the Air Force would have been happy with the start, you know, after 2 minutes with Josh Story-Randall going through, but just gone a little bit flat again. The Navy won't be rushing to restart this.
No, they won't. Yes, every moment will count for them. And you can see that the Air Force in a real hurry to get this ball forward. But that's just meat and drink to Sam Rawlings there, the captain. Ball out of play. Yeah, Pete Bradley, the Navy captain, I should say, is looked very, very solid at the back, marshalling that defence really well. Playing quite a high line. Not giving the Air Force too much opportunity at the moment. Thomas then with the ball forward, and chasing after it once more is Joe Spalding. He's still on there. Spalding does really well. Beats up a couple of challenges and still going. What can the Air Force do here? Well,
a lot more direct at the second half for the Air Force.
They are direct.
Trying to hit the front two.
Gray.
Be interesting to see how it plays out. If Gosling's not getting much time on the ball, you know, and they're going direct into the front two, might get frustrated, but it might push him on. Good, great switcher play there.
Yeah,
over to Roche on the far side. And it just sadly goes out of play.
Yeah, I think Roche, Manny Roche has showed that he's well up for this upgrade from the under-23s from the development side to the senior team. He's stepped into this role very well, having to come on as a substitute midway through the first half. He's done extremely well out there. And having seen how confidently he played in the under-23, it doesn't surprise me at all.
No nonsense at the back from Pete Bradley. The Navy just clearing the lines there, not taking any chances.
So Joe Thomas then with the throw for the Air Force. I mean, for Gosling. Phil Bright going in really strongly. Out of play it goes. And once more, the Air Force will have the opportunity from the throw. Just 53 minutes played here. Air Force desperately knocking on the door, trying to find the way through, but the Navy defence holding firm at the moment.
Good. Once again, really calm at the back there, do you know?
Well, you say that.
I say he's calm at the back until McCormick does that to me. My heart goes in my mouth.
Out of play the ball goes. And the referee is going to have a word, I think, with the Navy sub there, Roche, basically for kicking the ball into the stand where it was not necessary. Of course, it just adds a bit more time. He's not happy. He's also speaking to the Navy captain, to Pete Bradley, to say, look, don't want to see too much more of this.
I don't think he'll get another one of them, John.
No. Oh, lovely. Oh, attempted lovely turn then from Gomez. RAF then on this right-hand side with Brodie Gray. Plays it forward as far as the sub. Story Randall gets to the byline. Great tackle.
Great challenge.
Brilliant tackle from Jack Wright to deny him. Ball out of play, throw in. And that will go to the Air Force. Jake Gosling quickly taking it. Here's Eilert. Gosling again. Nodded forward, but no one there on the end of that. And you've got to hand it to the Navy. They're defending so well here. It's very few opportunities really for the Air Force to make any inroads.
You just see Pete Bradley there, you know, encouraging them on. He's getting Jack Wright up, you know, he's encouraging through. Doing a really good job in deputy of Danny Kerr tonight.
Yeah, I'm sure Danny watching will be delighted with how things are going at the moment for the Navy. But here come the Air Force again. Here's Gosling. Touch back to the goalkeeper. And he'll clear his lines. What a header from Rawlings going in there. Of course, all these players will be joining up again before too long, won't they, to play together for UK Armed Forces, for UCAF. Got some big games coming up later on in the year.
I'm sure the coaching team will have the eyes on tonight, and especially, you know, a few of the younger ones breaking through.
Yeah, they all know each other very well, especially when you get to a really senior level. Thomason with a throw. Nice bit of a nice turn from Story Randall
well
there,
done.
But easily cleared eventually by the Navy. Of course, the more the RAF push forward, the more they might be leaving themselves open for the counter-attack from the Navy. But at the moment, that's a free kick. A late tackle going in, and the referee will just bring the play back. So
we see the RAF bench getting a little bit more emotional now. You know, they're kicking every ball, they're heading everything.
Yeah.
They're appealing for everything.
Navy standing firm here, leading 1-0. They'll be happy with that as we approach the hour mark here at Fratton Park. It's just great to be saying we're playing this inter-services game on a league ground here, and brilliant to Portsmouth Football Club to I know a lot of work's gone in behind the scenes from the likes of Steve Johnson to make this game happen tonight. Good free kick coming in, header going into the box, but the Navy clearing their lines well. They've got an opportunity here on the
down the left.
Feeney, and real opportunity then for the RAF, for the Navy.
Unlucky, Sean Powell plays a great ball across the face of goal there.
Yeah, he did
Snedden
well.
just couldn't get on the end of it.
But it's what I just said a few moments ago about opportunities on the break. Again. And this game will spread itself out. It'll open out in the last few minutes.
Oh.
Important challenge, wasn't it, that from Pete Bradley there. If he got that wrong, we could have had another penalty. Very good challenge indeed. The throw in then for the Air Force. Referee just holding play up just for a few seconds. Gosling takes the 1-2 from Bright. Back again with him. Cross coming over. Good shielding, great work from Holmes, Elliot Holmes. And he takes a late challenge, but coming through forward now is Sean Powell on the edge of the box looking for some support. He finds it. Powell will get it back, will he? Eventually he does. Goes to the left back to Thomas, Rhys Thomas. End to end at the moment. There's Bright, takes the 1-2 with Gosling. Bright again, opportunity for a long cross, and that's a beautiful cross in. And unfortunately for the Air Force, Josh Story-Randall just couldn't quite control it, but that was lovely play from the Air Force. And in fact, I think we're going to have a yellow card here, and it's going to be the RAF captain, Sam Rawlings, is going to go into the referee's notebook.
Yeah, he's played the advantage in the middle there, John, from Rawlings. A late one on Holmes. You know, he's pretty good advantage to play through, identifying it's Rawlings coming back and cautioning him. I think that'll calm Holmes down. He was he was absolutely furious with that because Rawlings left one on him, and using his experience.
Yeah. But he's got to be careful now, as we said before. A yellow card for a central defender is always difficult at any stage in a game. And we've still got half an hour to play here. Good clearance from the goalkeeper. Interesting to see that Brighty has moved, certainly almost moved into a left wing back position.
It looks like they've gone to three at the back.
Yeah, they have gone to three at the back. But here come the Navy. Oh, that was an opportunity for them. Here's Gosling. That's a lovely ball forward, aiming again for the number 14, who I've been impressed with so far, Josh Story-Randall. He's come on, he's done really well.
Yeah, he's causing the Navy a lot of problems. The RAF just seems to struggle to get the final ball through to him.
He is switching from left to right as well. Thomas then with the throw-in for the Navy. He'll get it back again. Nice work, though, from Jack Debnam. McCormack going long then. Unlucky. Kieran Feeney just trying to get control of it. Will he get it back? No.
I think Snedden's running behind him there, and he's tried to lay it off to him, and he's just dropped in to expect to pick the ball up.
Gosling does well. Now Bright on, can he pick that up on the left-hand side? Shielded out of play, and the referee says that will be a goal kick. So, just over an hour played here, with the Royal Navy still leading this inter-services match, this opening game of the men's championship, by a 1-0. A penalty scored right on half-time for them.
Got a bit of movement down on the Air Force bench at the moment.
I think they're going to make a bit of a change. Elliot Holmes with the goal. Michael Cushion says, good luck, the Royal Navy. Gillian McCormack, come on, the RAF. And,
it's not like Mike Cushion to throw a few things out there on social media.
Yes.
He's a good lad. Difficult to referee, but he's a great lad.
Yeah, absolutely. A few messages on YouTube as well, which we'll just mention. Hi, come on, says Indy Goodings. Come on, Phil Bright, RAF, love Azza and Indy, your baby bro. Barry Hyam says, can someone tell the commentator that the RAF number 4 surname is Ayot and not Eilert? I will do that. Thank you very much indeed, Barry. Finally got it right.
Good, and we go to the RAF second
Aaron
change
Eilert
of the evening, John, as Joe Spalding's making way for Luke Preen.
Yep. Luke Preen, another development player for the Air Force during the under-23 season.
It's quite interesting that they took Spalding off. I thought he was one of the better players.
Yep. Here come the Navy, though. That's a lovely turn from rush there. He certainly has the silky skills about him. But here comes Phil Bright down that left-hand side, finds his number 14, finds Randall. Still going. Well challenged though. Great defensive work from Glendon there, Nick Glendon on that right-hand side. Here's Ayat. Finally got it right. Gosling turns it inside to Thomas.
Good holding firm again, the Navy.
Yeah, Jack Debenham again. Nice ball inside. Well, I think that was a bit of a hopeful call there for the RAF for a penalty. He went down a little bit too early, a little bit too easily did Story Randall there. But I've seen them given. I've seen them given.
Not on my watch, John, as they say. Oh, great interception there. Plays out to left.
Lovely ball.
Releases Powell. Powell cuts in.
Yeah, Powell.
Plays to the back post.
Oh, he went for glory, didn't he? He went for glory there on his left foot, but the ball was always just spinning away past that right-hand post. Jason Bourne says, come on, Royal Navy, just recently passed my defence aptitude assessment for them. Well done to you, Jason. Elliot Holmes, some boy, whoopee cushion memories, mate. Some of these messages, I don't know, they're so personal. Maybe we shouldn't be reading them out on air, I don't know.
I think it just shows the camaraderie that they've had, you know, when they played.
It absolutely does. Daisy Fobister says, go on the RAF.
We've got another member of the Phil Bright BFBS fan club, John.
I think, you know, out of the thousands of you watching, I think Phil's probably got his whole family and probably every person in the street where he lives following the game tonight. But we love to have all of you watching.
Looks like the Navy are calling on Gaz Hurd to come on.
Interesting how Gosling is getting involved so much more in the second half. He's at the centre of everything for the Air Force.
And there he is, he breaks through, takes 3 on.
And Bright going forward, the goalkeeper gets there first, makes the save. But yeah, Jake Gosling, he could be the key for the RAF's return in this game.
I think it just shows the class there, John, you know, as he takes a positive touch out of his foot and he's beat 4 men, you know, and plays that through ball. The Navy are going to have to watch that as they enter into the last 25 minutes or so.
Yeah, there have been some really good performances from both sides tonight, individual performances. The Navy, though, holding fast. 66 minutes played here at Fratton Park. They still lead by a 1-0. That's a penalty right on half-time from Elliot Holmes. Debner. And it's a good challenge, and that will be probably another yellow card, will it? Or a serious shout anyway from the referee. Jack Debenham.
Debenham's a 4th name in the book tonight.
He is going to go in the book. And that's the 3rd yellow card for the Royal Air Force tonight. Just a late challenge. Some young supporters down away to my left shouting, send him off. That's not going to happen. We don't want to hear that from fans.
Could it just give the opportunity a chance for the Navy to break it up again?
Yellow card shown then, finally.
Looks like Debenham's a little bit frustrated after that one.
Yeah. Well, it's been I mean, the Air Force have been frustrated tonight. There's no doubt about it by the way the Navy have set themselves up here. Mark and his team. Geordie Horseman, Dave Berry, all due to be leaving the Royal Navy very shortly. I think Geordie, 21 years service, or 22 years service, and Dave, 21 years service to the Royal Navy. They've given an awful lot over these years to Royal Navy football, and they'll be absolutely thrilled at the moment with the way things are going. Lots of more comments coming in. We'll try and fit those in as best we can before the end of our broadcast this evening.
I think we might have to mute Whoopee Cushion now. We give him a shout out, and he's not leaving us alone, John.
Yeah, absolutely. But that's what social media is all about, of course. It's the opportunity for you to say something, and that was a handball.
Deliberate handball there by.
Well,
always give the foul for the first
one. He was
one
pushed off it, but it was a handball, yeah.
Sneddon using all his knowledge there again, just delays it again.
So, Gosling then with the free kick, aims it to the right-hand side. Header comes in. Fairly straightforward for the goalkeeper, but there is an injury. Looks like it could be a head knock. And it looks like the...
This looks like Pete Bradley's down. Gives the Navy another chance just to regroup again, John.
Yeah, it does.
Doesn't look too good.
No. I think it's crept rather a lot into the professional game over the last few months, Scott. I've noticed that head injuries, obviously the referees have to stop the game for head injuries, and I saw a game recently where a lot of players seem to be going down with head injuries and then were getting up very quickly, breaking up opportunities for opposing teams. It must be very difficult for officials. I mean, the head injury thing is clearly, you know, the game has to be stopped. But it must be very difficult when you're officiating to know whether it's real or not.
Yeah, I think it's one of the most frustrating things, John, when there's a head injury, you know, and when it's genuine or not, you know, you've got to absolutely get in there, stop play and get the injured player seen to. You know, sadly we're seeing it creep in where players are going down, holding the head, you know, and if it's off the ball and, you know, you don't know what's happened, but sadly as a match officials they can't take a risk. But, you know, look in this, I don't think Pete Bradley will be going down easy. You know, he's a big old bloke, and he's up on his feet, thankfully, you know, for the Navy, and I'm sure he'll push on for the next 20-25 minutes or so.
It's just coming off the field. There'll be a quick assessment, I'm sure, that's already been made just to check he's all right. But you know, you can't take any chances with head injuries, clearly. But yeah, you're right. And I know fans get very frustrated sometimes when players go down, and if you don't know if it's genuine or not, then it makes it even worse. But I think he'll be back on. Will be Sam.
And the Navy back to full strength. Pete comes across. He looks all right.
Yeah, Pete back on the field again. And that was really the RAF's clearest opportunity in this second half.
Oh, great touch by Sneddon there.
Yeah, Sneddon did well. He's looked very promising for them this evening. But all credit to the Navy because they defended so well tonight. They've looked so confident at the back. As I said, this is seems to be a recurring theme with the Royal Navy. At under 21 level, they were certainly very confident at the back, not letting very much through at all. But here they are once again with an opportunity to go forward. A really competitive challenge going in. Alan Sneddon makes it.
A little bit of confusion there. There's two balls on the pitch. Sam Rollins has gone to collect it, yeah. And he's played Sneddon on by about 25 yards. I'm glad nothing transpired from that, because we'd have had absolute carnage.
Corrigan then will take the throw in for the Air Force. And the Air Force really have got to try and push on and see if they can get parity. A draw in this opening game would make it very, very interesting going into the last two matches. But the Air Force desperate to get back in. The Navy equally desperate to not only hold their line but maybe add to their lead. Just had a penalty so far to separate these two teams.
That's Rhys Thomas again. You know, I think he's been fantastic at left back tonight, John.
Yeah,
really calm, assured.
He has played well. You're quite right. In fact, there's been an awful lot of excellent performances from the Navy tonight. I've been well impressed with Alan Sneddon too, number 7. He's looked really confident, holding the ball up well and creating opportunities for his strike force. and also young Roche, Manny Roche, who's come on as a substitute. He's really proved himself tonight. Now, just a little bit too long for, again, Jack Debenham, as you said, was a bit frustrated earlier on, got himself a booking. And so, heading towards the last quarter of this game. And will we see any more goals? Looks like we may have another change on the way very shortly, this time for the RAF.
Great touch inside Snedden.
Yeah, Snedden again. That's a lovely ball forward through for Powell. Can he keep it in? He can't. But Snedden has created so much in that central midfield role. Looks really dangerous for the Navy. And there is going to be a change. And
looks like Sam Dawson's coming on for the RAF.
Yeah, and he's going to be replacing Phil Bright as well. Brighty has run his heart out for the Air Force this evening. I don't know whether he's picked up an injury, but I think it's probably a quest to add a bit more attacking, you know, prowess maybe to the Air Force. He's gone over into that onto that left side. Andy Critchard making a few throws of the dice here to try and get his team back into it. But that won't be any...
Let's hope we've not lost a few viewers now that Phil's gone, John.
Well, Kelly got to do join us for the commentary for the end of the game, but he's had a good game as Phil Bright. He's looked very strong going down that left-hand side. But clearly the referee, or the RAF management, deciding that they want to make that change.
I think it's as they've gone three at the back, John, and they've just want a bit more pace and legs, you know, to support Gosling down there and feed into Josh Story-Randall, you know, for the last 15 of the game. Nothing to lose, throwing it at it.
Nope. There's still plenty of time left. I mean, 15 minutes is still, you know, a goodly amount of time, so we've still got plenty of opportunities for other goals. That's a really good turn there by Feeney.
Snedden holds it well and draws a foul out of Rollins. He's done well against them, just holding it up. It's great when he's played into his feet or his chest, you know, his footwork and control's really good.
I think he's been outstanding, but there are going to be another change this time for the Navy, and Jack Wright is the man who's going off. He's going to be replaced by number 16, who is Gareth... Oh, it is Feeney who's coming off, OK. He's going to be replaced by Gareth Hurd.
Gazzy's still playing his trade down in toe point. Great little left foot on Gaz.
Looks like he's gone over onto that right-hand side, obviously to challenge the newcomer into the RAF defence. A change for a change.
A strange switch of play from Glendon there, which sees a ball just run straight out of play.
Gosling coming very, very deep to get the ball.
He'll run all night, Jake Gosling. You know, he'll be up there to go and pick it up in the second third.
Joe Thomas then has it.
I think the RAF are looking for him now to get on the ball, John.
And here he is. He's a game changer. That's a lovely ball through. Eventually collected, though, by the Air Force, and Corrigan plays it in. Gosling
again.
Chance. Oh, and it's still in there. The Navy being forced to defend, and it looks like they've picked up another injury there, holding his ankle. That looks like Sean Powell, who went in to help his defence. No, it wasn't Powell, it was actually Roche, wasn't it? Yeah, he's gone in to help his defence there. But the RAF have a corner on this near side of the field. And Gosling at the centre of all of that again, starting the move off. Header comes in from
Story-Randall again, John. Yeah. He's really brought it to life in the second half, you know, creating the chances. I think he's waiting for that killer ball through.
Yeah.
There's a couple more chances left in it for both sides, potentially.
Oh, I think there is plenty of opportunities for more goals. But 78 minutes played. And the Navy still holding on to this 1-0 lead. Glendon with a confident ball forward. A good, great hold-up play again from Snedden.
They are looking for Gosling again to get on the ball.
He has it. He's just really taking over the game at the moment for the Air Force. Lovely 1-2, lovely touch onto that left-hand side. Cross comes in, too near the goalkeeper though. But Gosling coming, you see how deep he is. You know, he's really taking that playmaker's number 10 role. And Rhys Thomas, just very happy to let that ball roll out of play. Use up another few seconds.
I think they'll try and take off everything they can, John. Last 10-15 minutes or so. You see the RAF pushing up.
Well, they've really got to go for it, haven't they, the Air Force? Here's Thomas on that far side of the field. Joe Thomas, good run from him. Made lots of ground.
Oh, he's beat Glendon out on the left.
Yeah, opportunity now.
That's a great challenge.
Glendon did really well. He's given the cut.
He's given a free kick.
He's given a free kick, yeah.
I think Glendon's done really well to try it back then. He's got his body in then and drawn the foul.
Yeah, Luke Preed it was. The substitute has come on. The 23 player. But it's been a terrific defensive performance tonight from the Navy. Scott, you know, really impressed with how well they've defended, and not a lot has got through this evening, but when it has,
yeah.
Well, there's been Lawrence McCormick in goal there, who's made a couple of saves, but really strong from the back.
Yeah, I agree with that, John. You know, and when the players building up, you know, Gosling, he might beat 1 or 2, but he's still got 5 or 6 players, you know, which are solid. And I think, you know, that's down to credit to Pete Bradley, who's holding the line really well, and he's guiding the young lads through it. And like I said, I've been really impressed with Rhys Thomas at left back.
Andrew Sharp, good evening to you, Andrew. Really enjoying the game this evening here at Fratton Park. Well, you would if you're a Navy fan. They're leading 1-0. And Andrew Sharp, yeah. Good evening from the US, actually. He's a future US Navy sailor. So good evening to you from the United States. We've had India, we've had the United States, we've had people watching all over the world tonight, which is
Sean
brilliant.
Powell's just done really well there to prevent Corrigan from playing it and won the throw-in.
Referee says that is a foul for the Navy, and the ball chucked away by Elliot Holmes there, which I don't think Jake Gosling was too happy about. It's just used up another few moments.
You just see Elliot Holmes coolly roll the ball away, much to the frustration of the RAF technical area. And just runs out for an RAF goal kick there. Moving into the last 10 minutes or so, John. The RAF really keen to get the ball going again. They're trying to get balls in play. Tensions up.
And the Navy holding out. In fact, I'd say rather more than holding out, actually. They've been pretty comfortable at the back by and large.
Then you see it again, Pete Bradley there, you know, really strong leading the line. Great header by Jack Powell there. Yeah. Jack Wright, sorry.
Here's Gosling. Lovely ball forward onto Preen. Aim for him on that left-hand side and does find him. Preen, can he get the crossover? He can't.
Seems to be a lot of the players slipping over tonight. I think someone's just mentioned the comments, you know, with the boots that they're wearing.
Well, the pitch was watered before the game, and of course it's been constantly raining. I think there's still a drop of moisture back in the air.
Shane Mitch is asking if Danny Dixon's warming up. There's plenty of vocals from Danny Dixon, but I don't think we've seen him warm up. I don't know if he's ever warmed up, has he, Shane?
But he's the sort of player that you want to bring on at this stage in the game.
There he is, Jack Wright again, first to that ball.
Yeah, he's had a terrific game. But the Air Force still pressing here, and they will keep pressing, aiming to get this equaliser, to get themselves back into the game.
Jack Wright first again, John.
Yeah, he's done well.
Snedden holds it up.
Yeah, it's a lovely ball across. Rush won't get that. Speedy though he is, he's not quite quick enough for that one.
I think we're starting to see the Navy tyre now, John.
Well, the RAF will be hoping that's the case, but they have had to defend for long periods in this game without really having conceded too many opportunities. But that is... Has it gone out of play? No, it hasn't. Well, it has now for a throw, but not the corner.
It looks like the Navy are going to bring Cameron Quirk on, which will be a familiar surname to all.
Yeah, absolutely. Fraser's son, who's come through the ranks of under-23 football. Cameron coming on. I'm sure his dad's watching somewhere. I've not seen him here at Fratton Park tonight. Opportunity for the Air Force. Ball.
Oh, it's cleared well by the Navy. Snedden's one-on-one with Rowlands.
And Snedden's got the pace. Goalkeeper does well, though. It's good combination, good communication between the two. Could have gone hopelessly wrong there, but it didn't. Air Force still coming forward, still looking for this equaliser. This game is so spread out now.
Jack Wright once again just so really calm and composed. I don't think he's got the desired ball off, but he's still clearing the lines, and Pete's there again, you know, bringing them forward, keeping them regimented.
Christian Paulett-Brigg with the long clearance, and here's Gosling. Got a bit of space to run into. Look at his ball control, absolutely superb. He's just got such brilliant balance on the ball. And he's still going.
Options are limited.
Looking for other space. That's a lovely ball through. Oh, and it's going to be an equaliser. Surely it is an equaliser. And would you believe it's Brodie Gray who's got on the end of it. But fantastic work there from Jake Gosling. Brilliant work. Just ran with the ball right across field. The Navy defence finally broken. It's 1-1 with just 4 minutes to go.
I think the tails will be up now. You look at the RAF bench, you know, they're all out there on the pitch when that went in. Let's see what the last 5-10 minutes or so has in store.
Well, there was absolutely nothing that the goalkeeper Lawrence McCormick could do about that. Just absolute incisive play then from Jake Gosling. Created that space, created that room, and on the end of it was Brodie Gray. It's 1-1 here. Everything to play for in these last few moments of the match.
And, you know, we're just watching the goal again there, John, and you see how much space Jake Gosling's given for Debenham to deliver it in. And then Brodie Gray for a tap-in.
And it was just an error as well at the back for the Navy. Just a loose ball. Gray on the end of it. Well, the excitement we've had at the end of the first half and excitement at the end of the second. We've had to wait patiently for the goals, but they have come. It's 1-1 here in this really exciting inter-services game. The rain coming down now much more strongly than we've had. It's blowing in the faces of the RAF players, but they won't mind that as they look for a winner.
I think the Navy are going to be backs to the wall now, John, and just hold on.
And it's very rare you see a ball hooked over that far stand on that far side of the field, over the north stand.
If in doubt, put it out. And he's gone out the stadium.
That's right. It's landed in the fast food restaurant on the other side of the stand.
I think it's in the Isle of Man.
Yeah.
Isle of Wight, sorry. The Isle of Man.
Goal kick then to the Navy. And will they settle for a point now, do you think, Scott?
I think they will, John. You know, the way the RAF have been building up the last 15 minutes or so, you know, and we've been calling it all night. You know, the minute Jake Gosling gets on the ball, you know, he's delivered it into Debenham's feet and then released him through. You know, a bit of an unfortunate mistake, but, you know, the legs are tired. They've been hanging on for a while, so I think they'll take a point at this stage, to be honest.
Well, it's been excitement all the way, and all credit to the Air Force. They battled away, and they've got an opportunity now again with Jack Debenham. Edge of the box. was worth a try for Josh Story-Randall. The Air Force definitely got their tails up, but the substitution is now going to be made for the Navy, and David Vincent is going to come off for them, and it's going to be Cameron Quirk who's going to come on for these last few moments of the game. Just a minute or so left of normal time, plus whatever stoppage time the officials decide to add.
We're looking like 5 minutes added, John, before the ball goes up. So we're into the last 6 minutes now. Have the RAF got enough to finish it off and take 3 points into next week's fixture?
Yeah, Navy heads have gone down a bit, which you can understand. For so long they defended so well against the onslaught from the RAF, but finally that defence has been breached. And certainly from a neutral point of view, a draw in these opening stages of the inter-services competition really opens up the competition. And the Navy challenging, and so are the RAF. That's a lovely ball outside from Debenham. Preen gets the cross over.
Oh, he's given a foul out there against Glendon.
So, a lot of RAF support here. If the Air Force can snatch a late winner here, that would really put the veritable cat among the pigeons.
The RAF don't seem to be defending this, John. They seem to have pumped 8 or 9 men forward for it.
They're going for the win. We've got 5 minutes of stoppage time to play here. The ball just gone up for 5 minutes. So, Gosling is going to take the free kick on that left-hand side.
I think the Navy just need to hold out now.
They do. But who's going to be on the end of it? Everyone's up there. Gosling then takes it long. Aim for the back post.
Rollins with a header at the back
and
post.
The Navy can break. Can they take this one on the break?
It's a step on from Snedden.
Yeah. Referee will give a free kick. Yeah, the foul by Rhys Thomas there. The Marine had to go for it. But Christian Pollitt-Brigg will take the free kick himself. Trying to get that ball into the box. Going for Route 1 stuff. And here's Hurd. The Navy not in any great hurry to take this throw in.
No, I think they're going to settle for the point now. Mark's down there, calming them down, telling them to slow it down. It locks it in for next week for you, John.
It really does. It makes for a very exciting opportunity for both of these teams. But here is Roche on the edge of the box. Shoots, great save. And well, Manny Roche then had a real chance then to create some glory for the Navy. The ball hit really well, but what a fine save that was from Christian Pollitt-Brigg. If that had gone in, my goodness me.
Yeah, I think this place would have erupted, John.
I think it would. I think we'd have lifted the roof off the main stand here at Fratton Park.
That's a great stop, you know. That's as good as a goal, some will say there, John. Well, yeah, I think he could have saved the RAF 2 points.
Yeah, I think you're right. But the Navy still looking strong, going forward, trying to find their way through.
It's not a great challenge there by Pete.
Yeah.
I'm sure he's going to go in the book.
Pete Bradley for the challenge. Oh, and it's just getting a little bit ugly now. Unnecessary. We don't need to get involved. It just goes to show really how competitive this competition is. We don't want to see any of that, but there will be another yellow card. A 5th one of the night, and the 2nd one for the Navy as their captain. Pete Bradley goes into the book.
I think one would say handbags, John.
Yeah, at how many paces?
Several.
1-1 here in this hugely exciting inter-services match, the first game of the season for the men here at Fratton Park in Portsmouth. So Christian Pollitt-Brigg will take the free kick. Everyone forward just about for the Air Force, everyone in the Navy half.
The kitchen sink's going at it by the looks of it, John.
It is, yep. And it's great to have that atmosphere here, which I've very rarely seen at inter-services games.
It's the loudest we've probably had for a couple of years, I think, John.
Oh, well, it's great. It really is. It just shows the interest that we've got in forces football, which has been long overdue, in my humble opinion. Andrew Sharp says, "Come on, the Royal Navy." They've got to hold out, but they're the ones who are just pushing forward at the moment, and they win the throw-in on that far side. Or was it offside? Actually, an offside flag.
I think we've got one last shout-out for Phil Bright's dad, John. He's not happy with you tonight, so I'll take that one for you, Rob. Up since 5:30. There is 2 in a day, apparently.
Yeah, nice one. The Navy still challenging, looking for that equaliser, or looking for that second goal that could give them a late victory here. They're the ones now who are pushing forward. Both of these teams desperate to win the game. Rush. Well, the free kick has gone the way of the Air Force. Maybe not happy, but
I don't think Ash has endeared himself to Debney. He's given him a foul there. I think Debney will still have a little pop at him.
Well, that sort of challenge you can go either way. Andy Cole's watching this evening. Good evening to you, Andy.
To latter stages now, John. Can the Navy hold on? Is a big question.
Yeah, absolutely. And they win a corner. So, danger time once more for the Navy. And we are in the last reaches then of this second half. We've played our 5 minutes of stoppage time. Corner comes in. Header goes wide. And that will go, I think, for nothing.
One last chance potentially.
Can the Navy snatch it? They've got a real opportunity here. It's at the moment it's 3 against 2. Through ball.
One man over.
Well, that will be the last moments of a really excellent inter-services battle here. Really competitive tie between these two. We've had a bit of everything. We've had a few bookings. We've had 2 goals, and we've had, you know, a game to really enjoy tonight, which has finished 1-1 here. And I'll tell you what, Scott, you know, I think we've been on the edge of our seats, haven't we, certainly for the latter stages of that second half.
Yeah, you know, I think it's been a really evenly matched game. You know, we spoke pre-match about, you know, players missing, you know, players not playing anymore. But, you know, I'm really, you know, I say proud of the Navy tonight. You know, they've been really strong at the back. You know, slight error for the goal, but, you know, on the whole, you know, where they've been for the last few years, I think they've absolutely, you know, done really well. And, you know, it sets it up lovely for us for the next few weeks, John.
It does. Well, the Qassar Cup, which is the trophy that we are playing for this evening, presumably that will be shared amongst the 2 teams, so that both captains will raise the cup aloft together, as it's ended as a 1-1. And I don't think we've got too many complaints about the result, actually, Scott. I think neither team really deserved to lose that, did they?
No, I think that's a fair reflection, John. You know, the Navy held out. You know, they took the chance with a penalty. You know, the RAF come close a couple of times through Campbell, and then ultimately, you know, it's a little bit of class through from Gosling that showed and brought the equaliser back in.
Yeah, absolutely. And Daisy Fobister says, Super Brodie Gray, best in the land. Well, he's certainly got that equaliser. He grabbed that equaliser for the Air Force at the end. And I think there's quite a lot of relief actually amongst the Air Force bench, because you know they went for so long, didn't they, without getting the goal. What, just 4 minutes left of normal time, so they pushed it right to the limit.
Yeah, and I think that shows, you know, when the goal went in, you know, the whole bench was on the pitch. So I think that just shows what it means to them as well. You know, they work really hard behind the scenes all year, and you know they've been on the pre-inter-service camps and, you know, put the hard work in. So, you know, it's great to see that they take it so serious.
Absolutely. And I think we must pay tribute once again to Jake Gosling, because it was his vision, you know, moving the ball right to left across the field, that created that opportunity in the end for the RAF to get the equaliser. And you know, I think you know, he is always going to be a star player for the for the RAF, and you've got a player like that in your side, it's always going to boost the confidence, isn't it?
It'd be really interesting to see what the Army think of that tonight, John. You know, no doubt they're either here or watching on this footage. Be interesting to see what they think and how they attack the next 2 weeks.
Yeah, surprised we've not heard any comments from coming from the Army camp tonight via our YouTube or Facebook. I'm sure that they've got some thoughts ahead of next week. I think it just goes to show how competitive it is going to this competition, this tournament is this year, and the RAF know they've got a right battle on their hands, and of course it could well be in their hands next week, because in a couple of weeks' time up at Shrewsbury, and you'll be joining me for that, won't you, Scott?
Yeah, we'll be joining you at Shrewsbury Town, John. Let's hope the weather's better than last time we were there.
Yes, I think the heavens opened on us. That seems a long time ago, in the pre-COVID days. But 1-1 the result here. If you've just joined us, you've missed a cracking match here. It's been like a cup tie, hasn't it? It's been, you know, it really has. It's been, you know.
And it'd be really interesting to see how the RAF line up next Wednesday, because they've got to go for it. They've got to win. There's no holding off for them. They've got to win. Yeah,
the Navy have got to win that, and so have the Army. So the officials coming up now to receive their congratulations for the way they've handled this game. I think Ash Allen always knew it was going to be a feisty affair, and I think he's handled it very well. 5 players gone into the book for fairly meaty challenges, and I think that's fair enough. So, speaking as a referee yourself, I don't think there's, you know, anything controversial about any of the decisions tonight.
No, I can't disagree with that, John, to be honest. I think Ash has handled it well.
The trophy then for the Navy's player of the match in their home game.
He's done well, because the RAF have freshened it up down the left-hand side on a couple of occasions, so he's had to put up with that persistent pressure.
Yeah, he did really well. More inter-services caps going to be handed out. We saw this last night. Sanchez unfortunately had to leave the field midway through the first half with an injury, and he's obviously hobbling on, but he'll be very proud to have received his Royal Navy cap tonight, and he'll be back, I'm absolutely sure. I mean, he's such a tall player. I mean, he could pose real problems. I doubt whether he'll be fit for next week, though. Maybe the Army would be quite relieved about that.
He also adds a different dynamic. We saw the size difference with that.
Cameron Quirk coming up to receive his cap as well. I'm sure that his dad, Fraser,
a proud dad to our left shoulder, John Fraser.
Yeah, he'll be very, very proud indeed.
Of him.
Yeah, very proud indeed. Both captains will step up to share that Castle Cup between them.
Matt Campbell looks like he's hobbling as well, John. Probably was the determining factor why he was substituted at half-time.
Yeah, I think that he could well be missing next week as well, and that's going to be a real blow for the Navy against the Army. They share the trophy amongst them. Goes back to its pedestal, so it won't be held by anybody.
We go again next year.
We do. We'll go again next week in Aldershot. And we'll be going again, obviously, in a couple of weeks' time as well, over in Shrewsbury for the Inter-Services Men's Championship. The Women's Championship as well, hotting up too, with the RAF a 3-0 victory. I hope you've enjoyed our coverage tonight, live here from Fratton Park. My thanks to Scott Jackson, who's been joining me this evening. Also thanks to our camera team tonight, to Chris and Roger Giles, and the team back at Chalfont as well this evening at our headquarters, who've been looking after things. Sarah Bowles, our director, and also James Smith as well, who's been looking after things technical this evening. So from all of us here, this is me, John Knighton, saying a very good evening, and thank you so much for joining us. Don't forget, we've got more live football for you this time next week, when we're back with more action, this time from Aldershot for the Army-Navy game. Scott, thanks for joining us. We'll see you again in a couple of weeks' time.
Thank you, John. Look forward to meeting you again in 2 weeks at Shrewsbury Town.
Indeed. From all of us, a very good night.